Long time no see. The last video was 3 months ago. During this time my winter car has been updated a little, and what I'm really interested in is that they added achievements. Perhaps it was their appearance that made me reopen my winter car and immerse myself in the Finnish winter. I know how quickly I'll assemble Rivet to move on to the main thing. It's tuning. It's April 18th and the first thing I'm doing is making this screensaver. We'll see what comes of it. I think I said it all. Enjoy watching. I haven't been here in a while, so let's get some sorbet and let it warm up, and we'll call the Rivet seller ourselves. By the way, I noticed that a white bedside table with a telephone on it has appeared here. Well, in the latest update they removed the ability to scrape ice by hand. You need to buy a special scraper for this, but for now I'll just wait until the car warms up. It's been a long time since I've driven on the roads of Olivieska. I even got bored. Yes, I had been looking for a long time to save this GT Rivet from 1974. That is, the restyled version. Then we'll quickly take the parts out of the garage and pull out the Rivet. By the way, I got a pretty good instrument panel. It probably matches the VIN code, but I haven't checked it yet.
Oli kyllä hyvä. Minäpä sökkelee tunnistin yhden mikki, että ihan varmana tarvii olla muuta kuin matkassa on. Niin, että kyllä meneekö kovasti maksasi 30-40 astetta, kyllä sitä puhui. No, kiitoksia vaan ja... Että mukava päivän
Saying goodbye and leaving. And we are going to Flitteren's workshop, where our trough will be stored. Now you need to push it onto the lift. Now I want to know how much money is needed for new parts without the crankshaft. Now you need to go to PSK to buy a newspaper and groceries. I was very surprised that there were some cars in the large parking lot. They weren't there before. And I was even more surprised when I saw a man walking around the store. Here is the ice scraper. But then I heard a new sound for me.
Lapis. Juu. No, 2 viikkoa. Oltiin Mukseen kanssa siellä.
I was shocked. Topless Gun made an NPC who just wanders around the store and talks on the phone. In my opinion, such NPCs make the game more alive. Now I'm going to call everyone at the newspaper. About half an hour into real time, I called everyone in the advertising newspaper. Now I want to go to Venti and play cards with him so I can make a lot of money from it. If it's not there, then I'll save. Now it's here, you can play. I didn't know what my maximum bet was because I didn't have much money, so I went home. I had work to do. Good morning. Today I want to pick up a sofa from a dump and drive home, and then pick up the parts that you didn't pick up when buying Rivet. But unfortunately, the sofa wouldn't fit in the car. I thought about it and decided to just put it on the roof. Smiling Rivet. I unload what I forgot last time and head to my parents' house. Now I'll take everything away from here. What kind of cardboard is this? By the way, Jones was still added to the game. Now let's get to the details. And again to Flitterin. Now you can go home in peace. Let's get some sleep and then we'll go play cards again. In another 20 minutes, I completely hung up the bets, so now you can play big. Oops, let's try again.
Ihan turhaa mä tästä sanon. Eikä mitään.
Marjatta, minun rakkaani, toisen löysin ja niin lähdin. Marjatta, sua rakastan, tuuthan takaisin, oon sulle oikea.
Great, now I can win a lot of money. In the morning, we will go to PSK, fill up the car and pick up the packages that came to us.
Mä tilasin viinileipä. Yksinkertainen konsertti. Viinileipä.
I got a little carried away by this dude and dipped the packages in sorbet. Now let's go unpack it all. Let's go. I've sorted through this pile, and of course you won't get anything out of it yet. I'll order something from the catalogue. By the way, they added one page to it.
Kesä oli kuin kuuma lehmän henkäys. Sitä pois pesemään pyörillä poljettiin. Ranta liian pieni ja siinäkin mutta pohjaa.
Now back to PSK to send our order. I was harassing this guy again and noticed more people. These guys sat and chose orders in the newspaper. Respect to the developer. There should be more of this.
tarvitaan. Oli laudassa
We are going home.
pohja. Amerikasta asti taloilla tilattu. Tenniskentällä kevään.
I called everyone at the newspaper again. I went to play cards, and when I lost money, I realized I didn't save it. I had to call everyone again.
Radan varren metsään kaljat piilotettiin. Ja paljain takamuksi junia tervehdittiin. Ennen kaupunkia kympikassi ja malluaski. Joku lukiolainen se parhaan kimman iski. Ei saa menettää peliä. Pitää muistaa.
I called everyone again and went to play, only I was already saved.
Ja noista päivistä ei oo kuin rippeet jäljellä, mutta aikuisuuteen jotain parempaa. Ja niistä ammentaan, niistä ammentaan.
Today I will pick up the packages, but first the tractor, then the purchase, loading, and delivery, so twice. I spent about a day and a half of my life on these 2 times. Enjoy watching the time lapse. And now, after so much time, I have everything ready. And so I prepared everything and started assembling the car.
Наварил деревенского самогона. Наварил деревенского самогона. Наварил деревенского самогона. Раки 2 бидона. Наварил деревенского самогона. Наварил деревенского самогона. Наварил деревенского самогона. Раки 2 бидона. 2 бутылки браги деда сипанули в рыло. Поэтому не помню нихуя, что вчера было. Вроде на студосе писал трек, взрывая мину. Из трактора ебашут сабы в народном стиле. Накинул форсе и пулап копать картон.
But the problem arose unexpectedly. The motor could only be installed thanks to a special crane that was in the garage of the house, but not in the mechanic's garage. All that remains is to drag the car with the engine home. I didn't have that much money to pay for tires, but Topless Gun made a really great system for
Vittujen vittu.
Sulla ei ole nyt ihan rahaa tähän, että
mä sulle alennustakaan viitti enempää antaa. Самогона. Раки 2 бидона. 2 бидона браги и полка кило со шнуром. Горилла Уолтер Вайт.
Don't ask why, but it was at this moment that the recording stopped for some reason. I was surprised when I noticed it myself. And now I roll the chorus with the engine into the garage and continue. But I still need to stop by for gas and some parts on the heavy luxury, Bachglots.
Исполнять и после с гармонию в кустах чисто отдыхать.
Wow.
Наварил деревенского самогона. Наварил деревенского самогона. Наварил деревенского самогона. Раки 2 бидона. Наварил деревенского самогона. Наварил деревенского самогона. Наварил деревенского самогона. Раки 2 бидона.
And here is the result.
Joo, ei jaksa katsoa sun naamaas. Me vittu. Jumalauta!
I was very happy, because before I couldn't start this damn car the first time, I spent almost 4 hours assembling it all, and now the most interesting part. The test. The car in this condition could go 200 kilometers per hour, but the heater and left headlights didn't work, but I'll fix that now. Also, the car was driving to the left, so we'll do a pullover. And finally, the most boring and difficult stage in this game, in my opinion, is over. The main mechanics of this game are this car. The essence is in the modifications and racing. My next goal is ice racing, and later, historical verification, or whatever it turns out to be. But you have to start somewhere, so I gathered the body parts and headed to PSK. While driving, I accidentally completed an achievement that has less than 1% so far. And today I want to buy one very useful thing.
Terve, terve! Mikä oli pojalla mielessä? Ei oo kyllä kulta mikä täällä. Se on ehkä optimismi ja haave, mitkä sulla niinku kiinni.
Joskus on hiljaa viikkoja.
Tää on tietty vähän
Lääkärit ne puhuu vaan. Se tekee sitä tahallaan. Täti saa toisen sairaan.
I don't know why, but I was very happy. Ah, exactly. The carburetor still needs to be adjusted. Only there are 4 screws there, not 1.
Ja vaikkei juuret yllää pohjaan.
The car started, but the value on the sensor didn't suit me. I didn't understand why the meaning didn't change, so I decided to go like this, and I'm going to the ice track for my first time. I ordered a lot of tuning. I need to prepare the car for racing. Let's unload a little. The carburetor was poorly tuned, but it still didn't look easy. I didn't play games where you had to drift, and from racing only rallies in my summer car. The first few times weren't perfect. I kept riding, and with each new lap I somehow understood the drift system in this game more. Attempt after attempt, and here are the first drifts. True, the ending is unfortunate. And I was doing laps until dark. The first day on this track wasn't a success. I just needed to tune that damn carburetor and everything would be better. The phone wasn't working and I checked my mailbox. I was sent a letter inviting me to work, probably from FutureFan, but I'm not going to work.
Joo, selvä. Minä laitan.
The next day after playing cards, I went to continue adjusting the carburetor, and still, I managed. The car was clearly driving more briskly. I ended the day playing cards.
Koulussa mua kiusattiin. Ei uskoneet lestat elviksiin. Opet puuttuneet ei. Meillä menee Jeesus all the way. Kato.
Oi saatana!
The next day, I decided to ride on the racetrack again. And again, not perfect, but with each lap it gets better and better.
En saanut mitään tarttuvaa. Mitään sellaista, mitä ei vois parantaa. Kolmasilla treillä. 2 viivaa raskaustestissä. Menti silti naimisiin.
For the rest of the day, I refueled, placed my bets, and drove home. The next morning, I decided it was time to prepare for the technical inspection to get the license plates. My packages have arrived and I'm just picking them up on the way to the garage. Having packed everything nicely, we are leaving.
Kerran sua suutelin, sydämeni vain onnesta huuteli. Kotiin sut vein ja vein jalat alta, enempää
Terve! Mikä? Ei oo kyllä kulta mikä täällä kiirtää. Kyllä se on ehkä optimismi ja haave.
Decided to buy an engine rev limiter and a regular carburetor.
Yhdessä aina. Pidetäänhän juhannushäät, onnea on täynnä meidän päät. Punainen tupa ja asuntolaina, ollaan yhdessä aina. Aamulla herään ja katson sua silmiin, tallentui
now the most expensive and valuable.
Joskus mietin, onko täs järkeä, mut sitten toit järveltä kaksarkee. Ne mä sulle pannulla paistan ja illemmalla lempeäs maistan. Pidetäänhän juhannushäät, onnea on täynnä meidän päät.
The engine rev limiter is a fairly cheap and useful thing, very easy to install, placed near the ignition coil, fastened only with a screwdriver, and by turning it you set the number of revolutions you need.
On täynnä meidän päät. Punainen tupa ja asuntolaina, ollaan yhdessä aina. Pidetään onnea on täynnä meidän päät. Punainen tupa ja asuntolaina, ollaan yhdessä.
As you can hear, there is a cutoff. And I will continue cooking rivet until the inspection. After replacing and installing some parts, I went home to sleep. Well, let's go.
Mennäänpä kahtomaan. Oi helvetti. Oi että kun ramaasee. Ehkä sit ensi kerralla.
The instrument panel was faulty. I thought it was because there was no speed sensor. For all 50 parcels I had a lot of them, so I decided to go and change it. Oh my god. I found a valuable, very valuable instrument panel. It was missing the heater button and radio. This would fit the historical configuration. Okay, let's go try again.
Oi helvetti. Oi että kun ramaasee. Se on nyt tän auton päätepysäkki.
Now I didn't understand exactly why I wasn't getting the inspection. Started climbing around the cabin. Newly. I had a lot of variations with the instrument panel, but only 2 with a tachometer. Looking at everything, when I came across one detail, I realized what might have been missing. But I couldn't find the left part. The problem was, it was my last hope. But among the metal chest I found her.
että kun ramaasee. Sulla ei oo mitään asiaa tonne tielle.
I was already angry, but I had one last option, wiring.
Kyllä se näin on.
Yes, the wiring has been done. We are going to the inspection.
Miksi mä edes teen tätä? Taas uusi koppelo muiden joukkoon.
But really, that's quite strange because that part of the panel worked perfectly for me.
Painu vittuu, saatana.
Decided to visit the flea market.
Kittilässä nyt vähän kylmä ja kauhea urputus ja maksutapa. Ja maksutapa. Ja maksutapahtuus. Ja maksutapahtuus. Sitten Marko. Ai että sentään.
Best. Next, it remains to pump up the chorus for racing, install the frame, grille, and repair the body. Now I will familiarize myself with the mechanic services and order everything I need.
Tää on tietty vähän kiusallista mulle, mutta
And now, we dismantle all unnecessary spare parts and install new ones. By the way, I recovered from alcoholism. I didn't notice this at first, and was surprised why I didn't get the achievement. I just looked, and it turns out that when I went in for the first time after 3 months, it came true. Then I stood and waited for the mechanic to do his job. I didn't see the safety cage and I was scared.
mikä oli pojalla mielessä? Kyllä toi aika hirveetä skeidaa on, kun mä katon tätä sun rusinapullaas tässä, mutta... jos me tietty hinnasta sovitaan, niin ehkä me saadaan... Aina.
But despite the phantom frame, I was able to put on the seatbelts. It's a very strange situation, but I'll continue to install the details. I wanted to install a racing camshaft, but I ran into a problem. After installing the valve, it started knocking and the carburetor started firing. I couldn't fix it. When I realized that now was not the time to deal with this, I just left. I really wanted to test the car on a dynamometer.
Mikä oli pojalla mielessä? Kyllä toi aika hirveetä skeidaa on, kun mä katon tätä...
I played around a little more and went to fill up and go home. The package arrived. Hooray! And so I arrived and wanted to drive back. But when I saw this idiot, I hit the gas, afraid he would crash into me. After unpacking the package, I immediately set about installing the new exhaust system. I changed, installed, dismantled, and messed up a few parts, then returned home. It's time to register for the races. Well, of course, Everything didn't go according to plan. I didn't have a frame and a helmet. I spent the next few hours trying to fix it, and I'll say that I succeeded. God, if only I knew where I got myself into. I went to the mechanic, ordered a transmission and a gear ratio change, and went home to get the helmet. I took my helmet and went to PSK. I had a lot of free time, so I wanted to check something out. I've been interested in the food ordering system for a long time, but for a long time I couldn't figure out how to order dishes, not fast food.
No mutta päivää! Maistuisiko tommonen grillipekoniateria?
I thought if I went further away, maybe I could order what I wanted, and it worked.
Hyvää päivää! Mitä saisi olla? Kiitoksia! Pieni hetki menee. Tarjoilijan luokkia.
Despite the fact that you can only order one thing, I decided to wait for the test.
Rupes kurputtaa siitä, että mä en saa muka koskea enää sen persettä, koska siinä on jotain vitun sovinista. Se rupes mulle vaan äänkyttää.
Ja tässä olisi tää teidän annos. Kiitos ja hyvää ruokahalua.
I just waited for the time to come and went to get the car. Rivet was ready, but I was very afraid that the time to register for the race had already passed.
Mikä oli pojalla mielessä? Ei oo kyllä kulta, mikä täällä kiiltää. Kyllä se on ehkä optimismi ja haaveet.
The uncle was still sitting on the bench, and it seemed like he could still apply. Wow, it looks very nice. I drove around and came back home. I will never forget these races. I raced for 3 real days, and I will show you why.
kotiisi.
As you can see, I'm not doing much, so I decided it would be better if I registered again. I drive 2 laps and unexpectedly for me, I get an achievement. I was first on the list. It turns out that this affects the starting position, and it was better for me to start on the left. And now, look how the starting position affected my race. If you knew how happy I was then. Oh fuck, you should know how I exhaled then. You can't imagine how happy I was. Finally my torment would end. I wouldn't hear the damn engines of my rivals. No one would cut me off anymore and I wouldn't go off the road again. And here is a huge cup for first place, and it's mine. This is my cup. But more valuable than the cup and 6,000 marks is an achievement that 0% of people have received. I took the money and put the cup in the Chorus Rivet Race Winners Cup. And finally, I went home. Now this cup will be in the apartment, or I will move it somewhere. And that's all. I think it turned out great. The release of this video is April 29th, which is 4 months since my winter car was born. For now, the developer is trying to keep the game fresh with updates. I don't think full access will be available anytime soon, but the game will have a big difference in content. Thank you for not forgetting about me. I will definitely try to release more videos on this wonderful game. I don't even know what to say goodbye to. Maybe I forgot something as usual, because I usually write videos without a script. Thanks for watching. See you later.